Here we are in the forest, part of the Dundas Valley Conservation Area, and we're right by Spring Creek, which is down that little hill there. You can see all the trees around us. It is actually a beautiful sunny day, but because we're in the forest, the trees give a lot of cover, so it's a little bit darker in here. What we're doing today is we are going to look for evidence of deer in this forest. I have seen lots of deer here, so we're going to have a look and see if we can find some of the trails that the deer walk on. Maybe some evidence of what they eat, some footprints. We'll see what we can find. So come with us. This part of the forest is not normally traveled by humans, but you can see a path along here. This would be a deer path that they would travel as they look for food. So we're going to go along the deer path, see if we can find evidence that they've actually used it. Here we've come across some footprints. There's one right here. You can see the hoof. And another one right here. So deer have passed through this area. We will keep searching. This isn't related to deer, but we did find something that could very well be an animal den here. And a pretty cool looking tree. Alright, let's keep searching. Here we found some more evidence of deer walking through here. These are deer droppings. They look an awful lot like rabbit poop. But they have left their mark here. If you look very carefully, you can see the path that the deer have walked. If we walk the same path they do, we will find more droppings. These ones are a little bit fresher. There we go, right up close. So the deer have been through here recently. It'd be really cool if we found some real ones to look at. So let's follow the path a little bit more. We're just going to stop here in the forest for a minute so I can show you some things that I have found on my walks in this forest on other times. So we know that deer are vegetarians. They eat plants only. They do not eat other animals. But there are other animals that eat deer. And we do have coyote in this forest, in this area. So I found evidence that coyotes had a big meal with a big chunk of fur. It's actually blowing in the wind here because it's a little bit old. But if you look up close, you can see what their hair and their fur looks like. Looks a lot like people hair, but it feels like very thin spaghetti. That's what it feels like. That is hair. Also I found a jawbone, which was pretty cool. So I'm going to show you what the teeth look like. Because they don't eat other animals, their teeth are very smooth. They don't have very sharp teeth. They don't need to chop down trees like a beaver. They don't need to eat other animals and be able to tear them apart. So they have teeth for grinding up plants. That's basically that. And on another walk I took, I did find a whole skeleton, but I did only save the spine. And this actually reminded me a lot of a human spine. So a lot of animals have the same similar kinds of bones in their bodies, just like humans. So this is the spinal column of a deer. All right, we're going to keep looking, see if we can find some living things to look at. I thought this might be a good spot to stop and have a look at Canada's Woodland Animals by Chelsea Donaldson, because they do have a chapter in here all about the white-tailed deer. I'm going to read a little bit of that for you. The next time you are walking near a woodland, stay quiet and keep your eyes open. If you are lucky, you may spot a white-tailed deer grazing on some grass near the edge of the forest. When the deer turns to run, watch closely. It will lift its tail to show a flash of white fur underneath. The white fur is like a flag of warning. It signals to other deer that danger is close by. White-tailed deer are beautiful creatures. In summer, their fur is reddish-brown with patches of white. They have big almond-shaped eyes and long, delicate legs. A male deer is called a buck. In the spring, 2 bumps covered with a soft, velvety fuzz appear on a buck's forehead. Over the summer, the bumps change. They grow longer and branch outward. At last, in the fall, the velvet dries off and peels off, revealing a magnificent set of bone-white antlers. And there's a picture right there. The antlers may look spectacular, and they may be helpful in finding a mate, but they are not very useful as weapons. Deer have other ways to avoid being eaten by predators. For one thing, young deer, or fawns, have almost no odor for the first few weeks after they are born. This makes it hard for wolves and other animals to find them. The fawns are also spotted, which helps them blend in with their woodland surroundings. By the time they are 3 weeks old, they are already fast runners and have excellent eyesight and hearing, just like their parents. And here's a picture of a fawn with all its spots. Wolf packs know the places where deer go to feed on grass, buds, and fruit. They lie in wait for them, so deer must eat quickly, without really stopping to chew their food. They don't want to become a meal themselves. Later, when the deer find a safe place, they bring the food back up and chew it properly. This is called chewing the cud. Deer have 4 stomachs to help them digest their food this way. What other animals do you know that chew their cud? And there's another picture of a male deer. So now we know that they eat grass, buds, and fruit. So we'll see if we can find some evidence of what the deer eat around here. Well, here we are back in the woods by Spring Creek. Spring Creek is over behind me here, and it is getting pretty frozen over, which is pretty cool to see. We didn't see any deer the first day, so we're looking today because of all the snow that fell yesterday. It might be easier to spot them, and it's definitely easier to see their tracks. Here we have a set of tracks that we're following. Let's see if we can see where this deer went. Follow it through the woods a little bit. We can tell it's a deer footprint because of the 2 sections of the hoof. Unfortunately, I'm not knowledgeable enough to know which direction it's going. So we're going to follow this way and see what we can find. No deer yet. We're still following the trail. Sometimes when you're out for a walk, it's nice to just take a look around, breathe deeply, smell the forest, see how beautiful it is, especially after a nice snowfall like this. Alright, you're going to have to look very carefully, but we have spotted a deer way at the top of the hill. Hoping my dogs don't scare it away. See if I can zoom in a little bit more. That's as far as I can go. It's looking at us, wondering, are we danger or are we safe? Probably looking at my dogs. So we'll watch it for a little bit. See if it feels comfortable enough to move on. Maybe there's some other ones with it. Usually there's more than one together. You can see how it blends into the trees. Its fur gets darker in the winter. Darker brown, just like the trees. Here it is up there, just standing and watching us. Oh, I see another one coming along. You see it on the right? There was a little bit of movement. Sorry, trying to keep this still. Oh, it's starting to move. There it is. You can see it's white underneath. The other one hasn't come into the frame yet. Oh, it hears a dog barking far away. There, it's moving along through the trees. So most people, if they're walking by, wouldn't even notice the deer. They're so quiet. They blend right in. Hoping we can see. Oh, the other one is right there. Right with it. Yeah, so there's two of them. And they're just going to carry on. They're probably looking for food. Trying to stay safe. And then they're gone over the hill. That was pretty cool. It's so exciting that we finally saw deer on our walk in the woods at Dundas Valley Conservation Area. Thanks for coming on our little trip with us. I hope you learned a lot about deer and about appreciating nature.